Well, Shane, I know everybody was consumed with the NCAA tournament over the weekend, but we actually had a spring game, and
Come on.
Missouri Tigers are already done with spring football. And for some reason, I have no idea what the thinking process was here, but they did not hold any media availability after the game, so we got no clips from any of the coaches, any of the players, or anything like that. But I've gone back, studied the game, Shane, over at thatsecpodcast.com. I've got a written breakdown, including video clip highlights. So if you're a Missouri fan, you're going to want to check it out. But I just wanted to give you my quick thoughts, Shane, on the spring game after watching it twice. This quarterback competition, I can see why they're opening it up to transfers, basically, Shane. And, they didn't mention it in the broadcast, but JT Daniels was there. He was in person watching the games, hanging out with Eli Drinkwitz before the thing got going. But sophomore Brady Cook, he got the start. Tyler Macon, the redshirt freshman, he was the other opposite, so they're going head-to-head. They're still waiting for the freshman Sam Horn to arrive on campus. But, it was a real mixed bag out there, Shane. Tyler Macon, his first pass was a pick six. Obviously, that's pretty bad. Brady Cook, there was a goal line situation, just basically chucked it up, and he got intercepted by the Clemson transfer, Joseph Charleston. So, some big mistakes here by these two. Tyler Macon, he was really able to showcase his legs in this game, but of course you couldn't hit the quarterback. So anytime he took off, they basically blew the whistle. So, maybe it was not completely fair to Macon, the more mobile running back, but yeah, he's not ready based on what I've seen. And I don't know if Brady Cook, who we saw in the bowl game, he just looked okay. It's pretty obvious why they were trying to get the guy that ended up going to LSU, Jaden Daniels. It's obvious why they were trying to get JT Daniels. I do not think Missouri right now can win at a high level with the quarterbacks they have there in Columbia. But it ain't all bad news, brother, because whoever the quarterback is, he's going to have weapons around him, because this 5-star freshman, Luther Burden, man, he is legit. He looked like the best player on the field. And this is his first spring camp up there in Missouri. The first pass of the game went to Luther Burden. The first receiving touchdown, Luther Burden. I mean, this guy, I think he's going to break the record, I think, for catches in a season by a freshman from Missouri. I mean, he was that good. And it's not just Luther Burden either, because if they try to double up on him, they got a second-year receiver, Dominic Lovett, who had 26 catches last year. He looked like, the light has finally turned on for him. I say finally, it's only year 2 for him, but, complimentary receiver, number 2 receiver in this offense. I think Dominic Lovett is going to have a huge year for Missouri, particularly now that he doesn't have to be the number 1 with Luther Burden there. So I love what I'm seeing from the Tigers receivers. And then I know you'll love this, Shane, because Tyler Beatty, no doubt, put the team on his back last year.
Right.
I'm not saying this guy's the next Tyler Beatty, because that guy was just phenomenal. But the Stanford transfer, Nathaniel Pete, running back, first carry of the game, 26-yard touchdown, looked like the next Tyler Beatty. You know what I mean? So I like what I'm seeing from Missouri's offense outside of the quarterback position. Obviously, that's the biggest question mark and the biggest hole to fill. But, if they find, maybe you can't put too much stock in a spring game. So I should pump the brakes on saying these two can't get it done. But, Tyler Macon, Brady Cook, if they take a step up, if JT Daniels comes in and he comes in with a passion to prove that Georgia, maybe made the wrong choice or something like that, Missouri all of a sudden could have a very dangerous offense next season in Columbia based on what we saw here over the weekend on Saturday.
Absolutely, man. And that portal's always open, brother. Let me ask you, if you were to put money on it, is the next quarterback for Mizzou even on the roster right now?
I would say no. I honestly think they'll add a transfer. And then, like I said, we've not seen – I think what they're really trying to do, Shane, is they're trying to buy time for the freshman that is not yet on campus yet, Sam Horn.
Right.
Who, the SEC is just so good. You can't just expect a guy that didn't even show up for spring to kind of come in here and seize the job and be ready to go in fall. So I think what they're really trying to do is buy time and get him up to speed.
Yeah, and one thing that you mentioned is weapons. Mizzou has them. Mizzou has some young receivers, like you said. They've got young crops of running backs. It's a young team. Obviously, they're building something. We knew there's going to be hiccups, and that's like when you watch any spring game when you got that much transition. It's just you're going to have mistakes, and you're going to watch film and be like, or you're going to see one or two guys pop. Even that running play you talk about, you say 20 yards. I'm saying, oh, God, is the defense as bad as it was last year, So, I mean, this is some of the thought process that's going. It's hard to judge when you're going against your own team. But like you said, I saw flashes. Of some serious talent out there, some SEC talent. And is it young? Yes. Can it be molded? Absolutely. And I think it's good tape, because if you do have somebody on the line in that portal that you're trying to get, you can say, hey, look what we can put around you. And you can come in here and start winning immediately with these guys. So I'm with you. I don't think the quarterback's there just yet. And if it gives Horn an extra year to prepare and get ready, then that's what we do. But I have the full belief that Eli is going to make the best decision for this team, because the last thing he wants is to bounce around quarterbacks like he was doing last year.
Mm-hmm.